There's something happening in dating that everyone sees, but nobody dares say out loud. Go to any expensive restaurant tonight. Look at the couples. You'll see the same thing again and again. A successful man in his 40s or 50s sitting across from a woman in her 20s. Not once, not twice, table after table. And no, she's not being forced. She chose him. So why are more young women choosing older men, while everyone pretends it's some kind of crime? That's what nobody wants to explain. Perfect. This is the core psychology section, so we'll make it hit hard, sound cinematic, and keep viewers locked in. Here's a rewritten, high-retention, 400-word version with a strong opening punch and smooth flow. Let's drop the sugarcoating and talk about what's really happening. Dating isn't just romance. It's decision-making under limited time, limited attention, and limited access to high-quality partners. That's not cynicism. That's reality. People don't just fall into relationships. They evaluate. They compare. They choose based on what improves their life the most at that moment. And here's where things get uncomfortable for some people. Men and women often peak in relationship leverage at different stages of life. For many women, their 20s come with maximum visibility in the dating world. More attention, more invitations, more options. That gives them strong selection power. For many men, real leverage shows up later. In their 40s or 50s, a man who has built a career, masters emotions, and created stability isn't selling potential anymore. He's selling proof. So when a 25-year-old woman dates a 45-year-old man, it's not always a mismatch. In many cases, both are arriving with what the other side values most right now. She brings youth, vitality, optimism, and long-term family potential. He brings security, direction, life experience, and a stable foundation. The ages are different. The value exchange often isn't. Now, let's talk about what younger women frequently experience with older men that changes everything. First, stability. And yes, financial stability matters. Not because women are hunting wallets, but because money removes constant stress. It means fewer fights about bills, fewer fears about the future, more ability to enjoy the present. A man in his 20s is usually still building. That's normal, but often means uncertainty. A man in his 40s who has succeeded offers predictability, structure, a life that already works. But the deeper attraction is emotional. Older men often bring calm. They've already gone through the ego battles, the dramatic breakups, the identity crises. They've learned, sometimes the hard way, how to communicate, how to lead, and how to stay grounded. That shows up as less emotional chaos, clearer intentions, stronger commitment, fewer mind games. For many young women, dating men their own age can feel like riding in a car with no driver. Dating a grounded older man can feel like sitting next to someone who knows the road and actually has a destination. That feeling of direction, safety, and emotional peace is more powerful than most people realize. And once someone experiences that, going back to confusion feels impossible. Let's hit the question people whisper but never answer straight. Is she with him for love or for what he provides? That question sounds simple. It isn't, because real attraction is rarely one-dimensional. People love turning this into a moral courtroom. She's just after money. No, it's pure love. Reality doesn't live in extremes. It lives in layers. A woman can be genuinely drawn to a man because he is capable, disciplined, and successful. His ability to provide stability isn't separate from who he is. It's proof of his competence, his resilience, and his ability to build a life that works. Those traits are attractive on their own. At the same time, yes, fully transactional relationships exist. Some people date like investors looking for returns. But those situations usually reveal themselves through behavior, emotional absence, conditional affection, interest that disappears the moment benefits slow down. The presence of some transactional relationships doesn't erase the many where affection and provision exist side by side. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Every relationship contains exchange. Emotional support for loyalty, time for attention, affection for security, partnership for stability. The real question isn't whether exchange exists. It's whether there is genuine emotional connection alongside it. When both are present, the relationship feels alive. When only exchange exists, it feels hollow and eventually collapses. Now let's talk about something just as important. What many younger women feel they are escaping when they choose older partners. Because this decision is often less about chasing something and more about leaving something behind. Modern dating in your 20s can feel like chaos disguised as opportunity. Dating apps promised endless choice. What they delivered was imbalance. A small percentage of men receive most of the attention. Average men struggle to be seen at all. Highly attractive men with unlimited options often delay commitment. That creates a strange emotional economy. Many young women find themselves stuck between two frustrating lanes. Men who are eager to commit but don't truly excite them. Men who excite them but treat commitment like a trap. One option feels safe but uninspiring. The other feels thrilling but unstable. After enough cycles of mixed signals, ghosting, and situationships that go nowhere, emotional fatigue sets in. Hope turns into burnout. Then an older man enters the picture who does something radically different. He's clear about his intentions. He communicates consistently. He makes plans and follows through. He introduces her to his real life instead of keeping her in a side compartment. The contrast hits hard. It feels like stepping out of the noise into clarity, out of emotional roulette into direction. For someone exhausted by uncertainty, that shift can feel life-changing. Of course, critics raise a major concern: power imbalance. They argue that age gaps automatically create unfair dynamics because the older partner has more life experience, more resources, and more influence. And yes, imbalance can exist in any relationship. Age isn't the only factor that creates it. But here's where the conversation often becomes inconsistent. A woman in her mid-20s is trusted to start businesses, move across the world, sign legal contracts, and make permanent life decisions. Yet, when she chooses a partner older than her, suddenly she's portrayed as incapable of understanding her own choices. That assumption removes her agency. Experience does create differences, but experience can show up as emotional steadiness, patience, and guidance, qualities many people actively want in a partner. Manipulation is wrong at any age. Deception is wrong at any age. Control is wrong at any age. But assuming every age gap relationship is manipulation ignores the many that are built on mutual respect and clear-eyed choice. Sometimes what outsiders label imbalance is what insiders experience as stability. So, why does this pattern seem to be growing instead of fading? Several forces are quietly accelerating it. First, visibility. Social media has erased mystery. Young women can now see in real time what life looks like with someone established versus someone still struggling to get traction. The comparison is no longer theoretical. It's visual and constant. Second, economic reality. Building financial stability takes longer than it did for previous generations. Housing is expensive. Careers take time to solidify. That stretches the gap between someone just starting out and someone already established. Third, emotional burnout. After years of unpredictable dating experiences, decisiveness becomes attractive. Clarity becomes attractive. Follow-through becomes attractive. Traits often associated with maturity start to outweigh traits associated with similarity in age. But let's slow down and talk about the part almost no one mentions: the risks. Age gap relationships are not magic formulas. They don't automatically create happiness. They just change the starting conditions. Some older men are grounded, generous, and emotionally healthy. Others are insecure, controlling, or trying to use money as a substitute for personality. Some younger women are sincere, loyal, and emotionally mature. Others are strategic, detached, and already planning their exit. When the wrong personalities meet, the relationship becomes a transaction that slowly poisons both sides. No amount of age difference can compensate for lack of character. Real success in any relationship still depends on mutual respect, emotional safety, shared long-term goals, honesty about expectations. Without those, the connection cracks under pressure, no matter how attractive the surface looks. There are also hard truths for different people watching this dynamic unfold. For young women, wanting stability, maturity, and direction is not shallow, but choosing someone purely for lifestyle while ignoring character leads to quiet misery later. Security without emotional connection feels empty fast. For older men, money can spark interest, but it cannot manufacture love. Stay emotionally present. Stay healthy. Stay interesting. And pay attention to whether affection exists when spending slows down. For young men, it can feel like you're competing in a race you weren't prepared for. But time can become your advantage if you use it well. Skills, confidence, and stability compound if you invest in them early. For older women, the dating landscape shifts with age for everyone, including men. Competing only with youth is a losing game. Competing on emotional depth, share values, and life stage alignment creates stronger odds. Here's the bottom line. Age gap relationships aren't automatically perfect. They aren't automatically broken either. They exist because, for some people at certain stages of life, the exchange of value feels aligned. People don't make these choices to win arguments online. They make them because, in their personal experience, the relationship improves their life. You don't have to agree with every choice someone makes, but understanding why those choices happen will always be more useful than pretending they don't. Because dating isn't driven by hashtags, think pieces, or public approval. It's driven by private decisions. And those decisions, repeated quietly across cities, cultures, and generations, are telling a story most people still aren't ready to say out loud. So here's the truth most people avoid. These dynamics aren't going away. They're not trends. They're not accidents. They're the result of real people making real choices based on what they believe will give them a better life. You can argue with it, you can judge it, or you can understand it. Because the people who understand the game make smarter moves than the people pretending the game isn't being played. If this opened your eyes, even a little, hit the like button so this conversation reaches more people who need to hear it. If you want honest breakdowns about modern dating, attraction, and relationship psychology, not the sugarcoated version, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And I want to hear from you. Have you seen this dynamic in real life? Have you lived it? Do you agree or completely disagree? Drop your perspective in the comments. Real experiences, real opinions. That's where the real conversation happens. Because the more we talk about what's actually happening, the less power the confusion has. I'll see you in the next one.